and welcome to Two Gray Goatees and a Whistle. I'm your host, Coach Eddie, again, along with the coach's wife, Amanda. Amanda, say hi.
Hi.
Hi, there we go. And in this episode, we are going to be talking about mental health in youth sports, and this is particularly high school, not just youth, but college is kind of brought up in this. Also, we will be having Stump the Coach trivia.
Stump the Chump.
Stump the Chump, except I'm the chump, I guess. So we'll have that going on today, and also we'll have our mashup again for movie and our movie mashup, rom-com and sports movies. And then we will end with our mascot. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and get into it. Mental health challenges in youth sports, the hidden struggle. So I found this article. It's Entrepreneur is the name of the site. And this was published in October of 2024. And I'm just going to read what it says. We'll stop, talk about it, kind of get your thoughts on it. Both of us are educators, both of us coach. So we kind of see what goes on, and we see the pressures kids put on each other and
put on themselves. That's the biggest pressure.
Yeah, they put on themselves. Outside pressures obviously is there. And so we'll kind of talk about that. So here, this is the article. In recent years, a concerning trend has emerged in the world of youth sports, growing mental health crisis among young athletes. We must shed light on the often overlooked issues as we observe mental. So, a recent study paints a troubling picture. Approximately 60% of high school athletes experience moderate to extreme stress due to their sport. 25% report that stress negatively affects their performance. About 35% of elite athletes report mental health concerns, with burnout, depression, anxiety being the most common issues. Any thoughts on that report, on those three numbers there? 60% athletes experience moderate to extreme stress due to their sports. 25% report stress negatively affects their performance, and 35% of elite athletes report mental health concerns, burnout.
Well, just in the involvement I've had with middle school, high school student athletes, a lot of them play more than one sport, which is fantastic for certain things. But I think it can lead to burnout, and then even more of them seem to have a sport that is overloaded. It's not just a season thing. It's year round. It's multi-seasons. It's seasons and then clubs. I know, and we talk about our daughter quite a bit on here, but in reality, she was a multi-sport athlete. She did clubs. She did drama and music on the side. She did club ball a couple summers when she was in high school. And then due to religious affiliation, she also got up at 6 a.m. every morning on school days and went to an hour of religious study. I think she was accustomed to it, and so it didn't manifest itself necessarily while she was going to school, but I have seen the effects of it after in her ability to push herself, in her drive. And it's not that she doesn't go out and accomplish things, she's burnt out. And you see that in students who, once they reach that point of I'm burnt out, then it's like everything goes to the wayside. Once they make that decision to get rid of one thing or to downsize one thing because they mentally cannot handle it anymore, then it's like everything gets dropped.
Yeah,
and or the wrong things get dropped.
The wrong things get dropped. Yeah, so I think that that's definitely a valid observation. I think the negative effects on their performance can be looked at multiple ways. I mean, everything a lot of times manifests because of the pressure they put on themselves. Some of it's obviously, we've talked to this numerous times, and it's no secret that outside forces like coaches and parents can also apply that pressure. Peer pressure,
community pressure, depending on what they're doing and the type of community they're in. Unknowingly, I think, or not being meant to be this way, I think even as teachers, we can put too much pressure on kids.
Yeah.
And it has nothing to do with whether or not they're capable or that they can't accomplish something. I just think sometimes we forget everything they're doing, and so we'll push one agenda.
Yep, totally. So here are 5 reasons for the middle burnout. So this is according to the article.
Okay.
High expectations and pressure to perform. 33% of college athletes feel overwhelmed by the pressure of their sport. Young athletes often struggle under the weight of expectations from their coaches, peers, and themselves. This is kind of funny because they don't include parents, and parents are definitely a part of that. And then they are.
At the college level, I
at
think
the
that
college
kind of
level,
falls away a little.
it does a little bit. I mean, obviously, parents are still involved at the college
But
level.
the risk of losing your position, losing your scholarship, there's more to lose.
Yeah, there is.
The higher you get.
Yep.
So I can totally see that pressure becoming more and more pressurized.
Well, at the college level, it's, we're paying you to hear, especially if you do get a scholarship, it's like we are paying you.
We're paying you to do this.
So
you need to
do it.
Number one, yeah.
And I think most coaches, just the ones I've been around, at least where I was going to school, they understood the value of education and what those kids had to do to maintain so they could still play. And so,
they're students.
You're still a student in college, even though the higher level NCAA might be a little different now, but you're still in the class, you got study hall, you got stuff you got to do. And it's, I think, and we'll get into this, is how to battle stuff like that. And so some of the other things, so one reason, expectations to perform. Number 2 is lack of mental resilient training. This is huge. Training, the mental training and this is something that is still, I think, as coaches and as teachers, we lack in, and that mental resilience and teaching that, and teaching it the right way, and not just saying, come on, flush it and go. How do you teach a kid to flush it?
Well, I don't even know that flushing is the right term.
Well,
it's like, I don't know that it's necessarily good to, there's the expression, like a goldfish. But the fact of the matter is no matter, I'm probably a prime example. I can say I'm over something, or I can move forward, or I can pretend like nothing's wrong. But the fact of the matter is, it's still there. And I haven't dealt with it.
Yeah, and I think
we're not teaching these kids to deal with it. And 2020 was a classic example of that. The following year, how many outbursts and fights and...
Oh, it was bad.
Because we did not, as adults, as coaches, as teachers, as community members, as family members, as parents, teach our kids how to cope with things. And it's not a matter of, okay, put a smile on your face and move forward, which is what we do.
Yeah, and the old schools like used to toughen up, and and the mental resilience is something that is, I think, coaches are starting to move towards a little bit, and
I think so. I think there's a shift.
There's a shift,
but
definitely happening. It's going to take a while for that to establish, because there's still coaches that are old school. You need to toughen out, and we'll tell kids to forget about it, but they have a hard time.
Yeah.
And because we haven't taught them how.
Forgetting, though, is not.
Yeah, it's there.
Learn to rise above it, learn to learn from it, learn to use it to benefit you, instead of as a negative, shove it down or walk away from it, which, yes, you are in a sense, but there's always something to be taken from something. I think another thing that it probably plays a big mental part into this, and again, I think we all have a little bit of this in us, our drive and desire to not impress, but to make other people happy.
That's on here.
Like, it's like, well, I missed, I might have been up to bat 5 times in that game, and I only hit the ball once. I'm a failure. And everybody saw me be a failure, and everybody thinks I'm a failure. And that's hard.
It's hard. And baseball, softball is one of the hardest sports to play. It is.
I remember my dad talking to Kelly, I think it was her freshman or sophomore year, because she was not necessarily slow, but she had she was now going against more advanced competition, better pitchers, people who had different pitches, so on and so forth, a faster paced game, because she was advancing in that sport. And he sat her down, and I remember him telling her, what do you think a good batting average is? What do you think you should be accomplishing? You're sitting here being so hard on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think a good batting average is? And then he just flat out told her and laid it on the line. The average professional baseball player has a 2 or 0.2 something average.
Yeah, it's to be
Think about it.
Well,
you know,
a good batting average in baseball is hitting the ball 3 out of 10 times.
Yes, that's a 0.3.
That is the average. That if you're hitting that is average, and most professional baseball players are well below that. They're 200.
Well, that's what he was trying to explain to her. He was like,
to me, it's gotten worse. Like it used to be a little bit better.
Look at how more advanced the pitching is. How more advanced the game is.
Yeah, everything is.
Some things there's always going to be a bottleneck somewhere.
Yeah. So that part of it, and so we'll talk about the comparison
but
thing.
It's like taking it into perspective.
It's taking it into perspective, but it's training, because coaching girls versus coaching boys and the mental game that goes with that, the mental training that goes with that is completely different.
Girls are very, very, very hard on themselves.
They are. Guys are hard on themselves, but it's different. In girls, it's like, oh my gosh, it's just a different game.
Well, because boys will be hard on themselves, be mad, legit mad for a day, and then move on. A girl will be hard on herself and literally loathe herself or her ability for months.
Yeah, they do. And they struggle. So the mental part of it, obviously something has to be fixed.
Well, just learned how to cope with.
And coaches need to learn how to teach how to deal with adversity. Parents need to teach their kids about adversity and how to deal with it. That's all, not just
their problems.
Yes, exactly. Stop being a lawnmower mom or dad. Constant comparison. This was number 3. 50% of athletes frankly compare themselves to their peers. It's frustrating. As a coach, I've always done that, because I've quit looking at that person. You're not that person. You're your own person. The comparison can erode self-esteem, increase stress levels. We know that. Overtraining and insignificant recovery. This one's huge. This is what you were talking about, how kids get overloaded with their sports. 70% of athletes believe they don't get enough rest for proper recovery. Imbalance contributes to both physical injuries and mental exhaustion. We know parents, I got students right now that they do their high school sports, which, fall, you got either football, cross country, volleyball, whatever you're doing. Winter, basketball, wrestling, winter sports. Then you got your spring sports, because that's how schools do it. They split it up. They split up the time in the thirds. And then summertime, it's a free-for-all, usually. It is, and then that's when coaches are competing, trying to get time with their players to develop their program. And that's part of the game.
There's certain rules and regulations on that, but there's so many loopholes and so many ways around things.
And I can tell you right now, it is loosened up quite a bit. And I think one thing that I saw a really good thing on some social media, Facebook, Instagram, it was talking about coaches at the same school and programs need to work with each other, not against each other. And to me, the successful schools that have success in multiple sports are the ones that are working together.
Well, they promote each other.
They promote each other. It's like,
it's not an all. It's not.
The football coach showing up to a baseball game to support the team, or a track meet, or the baseball coach showing up to watch the basketball game or volleyball game.
It allows those kids the opportunity to not only focus on something, but not feel like they're being ignored or forgotten because they're doing something else.
Right.
It still matters.
It still matters to them. And
you still matter.
Yeah, you still matter. And them seeing you there, and this, that goes not just for coaches, but this goes for teachers.
Yep.
Do you know how wonderful it is, if you want to really support your student,
if you want to make a relationship and a connection with a student, you show up at their event.
You show up at their events. And you
even the most closed off kids, it's a totally different thing.
We went and watched some high school, middle school rodeo, and I like going to rodeos, like pro rodeos. In the high school and middle school, it's a long day.
Yes.
It's, and God bless the parents who are there all day And you can
Yeah,
tell
yeah.
the professional parents, they have canvas, like they have
canopies
set up over the
coolers and
coolers and everything set up over
their seating area.
the stadium.
Yeah.
And their seating. And it's like, oh yeah, you know, they've been here for a while because we went, you know, earlier this year, and it was one of the hotter days in
It was warm.
It was warm that day. It was like we weren't used to the heat yet, and we were out there and it's like 9-10 in the morning, and we're like, wow, okay, we're getting a lot of sun right now.
Well, and it just, and I mean, it was very enjoyable, and I don't, for any stretch of the imagination, want somebody to think that we regretted being there.
No, it was fun. I enjoyed it.
Oh my! Because there was so many kids. Because it's not like it's
because
just
they were and they were mixing middle school and high school kids there, and usually they split it up between 2 days, but I think sometimes they overlap. So before I move on to the other part, and what we kind of talked about was things that can help. So outside the overtraining, insignificant recovery, one can back that real quick. You know, students that are youth that are playing basketball year round, or they're doing volleyball or softball year.
I don't care what it is.
You have to have a time to break. You have to have time to recover.
You can love something.
They need a time
more than anything else. Still need a break.
They still need a break. They need a month or two somewhere in there where
do something different. Check out for a minute.
Check out. You know, not saying just go completely idle, not doing anything.
Well, no, yeah.
You still need to be.
That doesn't mean if you're a basketball player, you can't go dribble the ball on your walk to do something else.
Or you know, if you go on a jog or something like that. But dude, take your time. Go fishing. Go camping. Spend time with your family. That is how you reset.
Well, I think that's just as important for coaches, teachers.
Yeah, that's for anybody. You need to have a break.
You got to have a reset.
Yep. So, and then the number 5 one here was isolation and social support networks. 60% athletes report feeling isolated due to the demands of their sport. Rigorous training schedules often impede on crucial social interactions. Yeah.
Well, that goes back to being a well-rounded person and exposing yourself to more than one thing.
Yeah. And when you're
and not making that consume you.
If you are playing on a travel team, and let's say you're playing on a travel team that's in another town, and you're gone every weekend during the school year,
5 nights a week for practices,
5 nights a week, or even if you're only gone a couple of weeks, and you're balancing that between that and another coaching gig or another playing gig, and then your weekends where you could hang out with your friends, you're not hanging out with your friends. And in college, that social aspect can be there as well. I do think in college, obviously kids are more mature and they understand what they're getting into. I mean, I think freshmen,
yes.
I think
it's probably
incoming freshmen,
huge culture shock.
It's a huge culture shock because now it's like, and I told kids in high school, you really, really, really got to love your sport when you're going to go to college. It's a job. It's not just, you have that sport owns you.
Well, and you don't have your parents waking you up every morning to go do something,
and that is something that parents teach them early, self-reliance that they teach them, and that's why they're successful in playing college.
For sure.
Yeah, it's because of what the parents did to train them to get that point, what they taught them, the work ethic and all that stuff. That's where the parents
is huge.
The build the player. It's the parents. The coaches have a part in it, but it's the parents ultimately, and how you raised your kid is the reason why that kid is now moving on to the next level, whatever level that is.
Yes.
Because they've instilled those values, and then that kid
they've let them go do it.
Yeah, and they take their hands off.
They're not their hands off. They're not mowing down issues. They're not promoting their kid. They stood back and they took that hard work ethic and that, values that they instilled in that kid, and they let them run with it.
And speaking from personal experience, probably 90% of the players that I've coached that went on to play college that
have gone to the next level,
college level.
How many conversations did you have with those kids? Or those kids' parents?
That were negative? Rarely, never. There was only,
if you had a conversation at all, other than "Hey, good job,
hey, good job," and just having a normal conversation.
Yep.
It was never, negative.
Yeah.
Because those parents,
unless there was a real issue,
and if you talk to players And there was a study done, or Bob Brown, he had this talk about success, players having success in parents' roles. And you talk to the players, and it was they let them have this to fail or be successful. They take their hands off. They're like, hey, we will support you. We'll help get you everything lined up what you need to do. But this is your thing. And that's hard for parents because they control every other aspect of their life.
They do, but do you want your kid to be successful? Do you want them to have the abilities to go out in the real world? Because team activities and sports and clubs and jobs and is how you get there.
Well, it's how you get there, but there's few things that you parents don't have that they will have control over.
Yeah.
Like you can take the car out, or you can go out, da 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 da.
Yeah.
You know, parents have that control, but this
you need to be in bed at this time.
You know, time, all this stuff, boom, curfew, all this stuff. But but what players are saying is like, this was my thing. This is so, and so what what a lot of the players say is their parents would, you know, if they had a problem with the coach, okay, you go deal with it. Don't come to me.
Yep.
Now the way it should be levels to this, it should be, man, the coach is not doing this, da da da, whatever. Okay, go deal with it. That's the kid's responsibility. Respectfully deal with it. Yes, obviously.
Go in there with a solution, not just a problem.
Yeah, have a conversation, discuss it, because sometimes it's just a simple miscommunication, and get that worked out. If it gets to a level where it can be resolved, okay, maybe bring in the parent and then have a conversation with the coach and see if something can be worked out. And then but the kids that are successful don't have an issue with it. We never really have issues with parents. Yeah. Okay. Now, the importance of mentorship. So I think this is huge. I think this is something that has to be built in culture. So I'm going to read this, and then I want to talk about the mentorship thing.
Okay.
So Sari Davis, founder of the Sari Davis Academy, a former Division I athlete, emphasizes the critical role of mentorship to address these challenges. With a background in sports psychology and is it kinesiology? Is that how you say it?
I don't know. I don't know how it's spelled.
Kinesio. It's a way of exercising.
Kinesiology?
Kinesiology. It's a study of, I think, like exercising stuff. Okay. Is probably what it is. Is dedicated her career to installing mental toughness and confidence in young athletes. Mental resilience is important as physical training. We need to equip our young athletes with tools to handle pressure, setbacks, and unique stressors that come with competitive sports. This is her recommendation. Number one, incorporate a mental health training into an athletic program, encouraging open dialogue of mental health in sports, providing access to sports psychologists and mental health professionals, educating educating coaches and parents in recognizing signs of mental distress in athletes, promoting balanced approach to sports that includes adequate rest and recovery time. As we celebrate these achievements in young athletes, it is crucial to remember the invisible battles that they may be fighting, addressing mental health in youth sports head on, we can help ensure that the next generation of athletes is not only physically fit, but mentally resilient. So this lady, she has her own website and a YouTube channel too.
What was her name again?
Sari, so Saire.
Okay.
Davis.
I've heard of that name before.
Yeah. So she looks like she does a lot of mental health training with youth sports. So the mentorship thing, mental health is becoming more accepted, I think. And it's becoming more recognized, I guess. And Ted Lasso really, the series really brings that to light.
Yeah.
The mental health part of it, of not just sports, but just mental health in general. But in sports, it's definitely something that needs to be addressed.
Well, the higher level that athletes get, it seems like the less or the more dehumanized they are to their fans, to their...
Yes.
I mean, and they're human beings. They have emotions. They have mental toughness or lack thereof. They have drive. But above all, they make mistakes, or they aren't always going to have the perfect game, or they're human. They're not robots. They're not AI. They're not.
Yeah. And it's gotten worse. It's so bad right now with some of the things that are happening to players at the professional level. I mean, death threats to family members. It's awful. It's stupid. It's like it's a game. And this is a whole other topic we can get into another day. But it's nuts right now.
Yeah.
It is really
as
crazy.
far as mentorship, I think that can come from anywhere.
Yeah.
It does not have to be an A team player mentoring a C team player. It does not have to be a starter mentoring a third string. It can come from adults, it can come from peers, it can come from coaches, it can come from teachers, it can come from your sweet little neighbor lady who asks you how you're doing every day. Mentorship is very broad, but it's all comes down to that I care about you and you matter.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that also, I think if I was a high school coach and you want to install this culture in there, I would try to have the older athletes really work with the younger athletes as much as possible to help them, because they've had,
you know how to be a mentor, then
they've been,
or you've had one, then you can see that benefit of that, and you want to do that for somebody else.
You take a junior senior that's had 2 to 3 years of experience playing at that level, have them, working with the incoming freshmen, the middle school kids, to really help them, guide them through that.
For sure.
To have them take ownership in the program,
Yep.
I think would be huge.
Well, you buy into it.
Yeah.
If you have somebody not only using and selling the product, you're going to buy into it.
Yeah.
Because you're a part of that product. Mm-hmm. Whatever that be. I think that goes even as far as putting your varsity athletes in uniform and having them go and meet kids in drop-off for elementary.
Yeah.
I mean, everything like that. Or go have a, Friday game day, lunch or something.
Lunches and stuff like that. Those are all big things that...
It's all a type of mentorship.
Yeah. Okay, so that's our talk on mental health and youth sports. We're going to move on to our next segment. Are we ready to try to stump me?
Oh, I'm ready.
Oh, boy. So in this, we did this last episode. I had the coach's wife try to stump me with 5 questions, sports-related questions, and I was able to get 5 out of 5. Some of them were lucky. So I think my wife has this vengeful, I hope it's not too abstract sports.
No, it's not.
Like I learn about highlight or something like that, or,
I don't know what the heck that is.
Oh, I'll show you. It's like a very weird racquetball / I don't know. They wear a really funny...
I could have went down that road, but I did not.
Okay. All right.
And you might get all these. I do have a bonus question just in case you miss one.
Oh, okay. Yay. So I can get a mulligan on one?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's go.
We'll see. Some of them had multiple choice and I took it out.
Boy.
You get no multiple choice.
Okay, no multiple choice.
Question 1.
Okay.
Who is the only player to win the NBA MVP and NBA Finals MVP in the same season multiple times?
Wow. So NBA player,
NBA
regular season MVP,
and finals MVP for multiple seasons at the same time.
Man, I got 2 guesses. I'm going to say one that's before my time. We'll see. Bill Russell.
Nope.
Wouldn't be Jordan. That'd be too
Yes.
It was Jordan?
Yes.
It was the obvious one.
That is why he is and will always be
the greatest.
The best.
The best. Okay, honestly, I was going to...
I don't care about
my instinct was going to be Jordan, but I was thinking, all right, Bill Russell has won multiple championships.
In there because I thought it was going to be 2.
Okay, so I got one wrong.
But I was like, no, I'm sorry, he's the GOAT.
Jordan? No, you're never going to argue. You're
not
going to argue. And that was my instinct, but I thought maybe you're trying to throw me off. Darn it. Okay. I think I'm overthinking it, so I need to stop.
I've got you off.
I need to
play a mind game.
I need to go with my instinct. Okay, go ahead. Number 2.
Who was the first player to hit 60 home runs in a single season?
60?
Yep. The first
baseball player. First baseball player is 60.
Don't overthink it.
Mark McGuire, Sammy Sosa.
Old.
Wasn't Babe Ruth, was it?
Yes.
Babe Ruth was number one?
Yes.
He was the first hit.
He was the first hit 60.
Okay. All right, man. Okay, I'm over 2.
Yeah. See, these aren't
I
the
say-
bad. They're
yeah.
obscure. Number 3. Who is the record holder for the most Formula One World Championship titles? A. Hamilton, B. Schumacher, C. Vettel, or D. Senna?
The most what?
Who is the record holder for the most Formula One World Championship titles?
Schumacher. Hamilton?
Yes.
It was Hamilton? Man, okay. Gosh, man.
I should have made 5 bonus questions.
Okay, good.
I'm just happy you're getting some wrong.
Yeah.
And you're not like way off.
No, I'm not way off.
Okay. Number 4. In which sport is the term snatch used for? I only did this because when we were watching Eastern Oregon play softball, and he yells out at the top of his lungs, "Nice snatch!" to softball players. It has nothing to do with softball.
I know. Snatch?
Yeah.
What sport?
Uh-huh.
Use the term snatch.
It's an individual sport. It's not a...
Oh, Jesus.
And it's not one that, I mean, every athlete does it if they want to be a better athlete, but it's individual sport. You do it in the gym. Or, well...
Is it in weightlifting?
Yes.
Yeah. I know it. Okay, yeah. All right. I got one. Yeah. All right.
Question number 5. Which country is the most successful, and I did not know this, the most successful in the history of the Winter Olympic sports in terms of medals?
Medals?
Yes. So it's not who you think it is. Okay, so yeah, my, red-blooded American.
No, I'm just
US.
not. Americans not in winter.
In winter.
And in summer, yeah, U.S. is there.
A is Norway, B is US, C is Canada, D is Russia.
See, I don't get a multiple choice. My first guess,
Wasn't in there?
no, it is.
Oh.
My first guess is in there, but you threw in another country that throws me off now. I'm going to say Russia?
No.
Norway.
Yes.
Okay. It's always my second. You know how many times I did that today?
I know.
If I had 2 guesses.
Okay. Bonus question, because you got more than one. You didn't get all 5.
Yeah, did I get 1 right? I got 1 right. One right. Weightlifting.
1. And you might have got more if I hadn't given you multiple choice.
Okay.
Okay. Here's your bonus question. You should get this one right. If you don't, we're not going to be married anymore. Who holds the title of the fastest person in the world?
Usain Bolt.
Yep.
Hey, I got one. All right. Next segment. Man, that was brutal.
They weren't that bad of questions.
No, they weren't. I got humbled real quick. So I am back to,
whatever.
I went from 5 for 5 and I got smoked. Jeez. Okay. All right.
I almost didn't put the Jordan one in there because that's gonna be the first thing.
Like I said, I overthought it. Yeah. Be thinking that you were just gonna throw a lot more random stuff. I mean,
I know.
I
did not. So. I specifically was like, no, don't do that.
Gosh,
you're gonna be okay. Think of what you learned today.
A lot. I did.
Jordan is the GOAT.
Yeah, we knew that. You and I will have to have an argument with the Gen Xer.
Bring it on,
basketball player is.
He's the GOAT.
You talk to younger people and you have this argument all the time, and it's
Shut up.
All right.
Not only was he a GOAT, but he was a team player.
Next segment.
Okay.
This is our mashup. Rom-com and sports.
This is the last time it was creepy. It creeped me out.
Really? The last one we did was Princess Bride.
Is this one that somebody gave you?
I did get one response, but the response was just a rom-com sports movie. It was already done, and that was is it Fever Pitch? With,
so it's already
Drew Barrymore. Was it Drew Barrymore and Jimmy Fallon? Yeah, before Jimmy Fallon was doing.
Who gave you that?
And that came from Tanner.
Oh, okay.
So congratulations to Tanner getting the AD job at Gooding.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's the AD now. Yeah, good for him. So, Tanner gave me that one. So I'm glad to respond. And anybody wants to give me comments or ideas, please
for sure.
Totally do it.
Mascots,
anything.
Points, trivia questions, whatever you want to do.
Whatever you do. Okay. So, I'm not going to give you the title of the movie yet. I'm going to do my pitch first.
That's cheating.
Okay, I'm going to do the pitch.
See if I can figure out the movies.
Yeah, and I think you'll be able to figure out the movie. Okay. We watch this rom-com quite a bit. At least you do. You throw it on a lot. And
Some of them are just funny.
the sports movie you're going to know because this is probably one of the few rated R movies your dad probably let you watch.
Hey, if it was sports, it was okay.
It was sports, it was okay. It was justified. Okay. And then we are going to go over the trailer script. I'm going to go over the trailer script with you after.
Okay, lay it on me.
All right. Melody Carmichael thought she left her small town roots and her washed up ex-husband Jake behind when she made it big in New York fashion. But when the high-powered fiance insists she clear up her complicated past before their wedding, she heads back down to Alabama to finalize her divorce. Jake is not just running a dive bar anymore. He's now the reluctant player manager of a struggling minor league baseball team, the Alabama Hammers. A team so bad they make the Cleveland Indians from Major League look like World Series champs. When a desperate owner offers Melody a PR gig to save the team from relocation, Jake from going full Kitty Powers, she agrees with one condition. She's out there before opening day. Cue the ragtag crew misfits, players, locker room antics, slow burn romance between two people who cannot decide whether to throw fastballs or punches. Can you name the two movies?
Sweet Home Alabama and...
So you got the rom-com.
Shoot. I know it's baseball, but my brain it just shut off.
Gave the baseball
team. Wild Thing.
Yeah.
What the heck's the name of the movie?
Yeah. Major Leagues.
There you go. See, I knew it.
All right. So
it wasn't as scary as the pitch last week.
I really like Princess Bride and Dodgeball.
Princess Bride. I love Dodgeball, but they are not a mix.
Oh, it was a great mix. All right, here we go. So we are going to.
It sounded like Hallmark meets Babe Ruth or something stupid.
So, all right, here we go. I'm going to read you the trailer now, the movie trailer script. Okay, title of the movie is Sweet Home Major League.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Cue Sweet Home Alabama. The Sweet Home Alabama guitar riff cut off by a crack of the baseball bat. Okay. There's your scene. Narrator, deep, dramatic voice. She walked away from her past. Here's the montage.
You need Morgan Freeman?
Yeah. Here's the montage. Melody walking the New York City runway, dodging reporters, sipping lattes, and flashing her engagement ring. Here's the narrator, comes in and says, and into the arms of high society, but some diamonds you can't run from.
That's stupid.
Here we go. Cut to the scene. Smash cut to a muddy, broken down baseball field with Jake yelling at players who's running the wrong way. Here's Jake grinning. Welcome home, slugger.
Oh my God.
Melody, eye rolls.
Blech, eye rolls.
You still think a jockstrap is a personality. Here's more montage. A pitcher doing yoga, a batter hitting a ball into his own face, a team mascot catching fire. Narrator, the Alabama Hammers are the worst team in baseball. Their last chance? Team owner, desperate. She's smart, she's sharp, and she's all we've got. Okay, cut to a scene, Melody holding a glittery clipboard. We're not just rebranding the team, we're rebranding hope. Cue the romantic.
Yeah, but the lady who was on... Why can I not think of the name of that movie? She was horrible.
Okay, let me... There. Cue the romantic montage, a kiss in the dugout, a dance at a country bar, Jake fixing the scoreboard with duct tape. Narrator comes in and says, the creators of Sweet Home Alabama and the spirit of Major League. Slow motion shot of Jake pitching a strike. Melody clapping from the stands. Fireworks.
Why is he pitching? He's the coach.
He's a player coach. That's what he does well. Narrator, love, laughter, and line drives. Cue the power ballad, a mashup of Lynyrd Skynyrd and Journey.
Oh, God.
This summer, romance takes the field. Sweet Home, Major League. You can't win at love if you quit in the ninth.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
No, come on.
Just get to that line.
All right, so this is all ChatGPT built this for me. So here is the Dreamcast list of people they would have playing the characters. So instead of having
your
original cast, they're a little bit different. So Melody Carmichael, who was played by Reese Witherspoon in the original
Sweet Home.
Margaret Robbie, Southern Charm, New York Glam, Comic Tiny. Jake Perry is going to be played by Channing Tatum. Charming, athletic, perfect for romantic.
He's not charming. I'm sorry. And a lot of women are going to hate me on this, but he's not charming.
This is going to be perfect because of the whole Kenny Powers.
Okay.
The actor Danny McBride.
Yeah.
He's going to play Coach Earl Wheels Wilson, the grumpy veteran coach. Team owner, Doris McGraw, is Octavia Spencer. Okay. She's a good actress. So there's a lot of people. Ricky Tattoo Delgado, the wild card shortstop, is going to be played by Pete Davidson. Cynthia, Melody's New York City best friend, is going to be Aquafina. Andrew, the uptight New York City fiance, is James Marsden. Cyclops from X-Men and
really?
Was it the dresses? Yeah. He's going to play the
27 dresses.
Yeah. Hank the mascot guy.
There you go. If you can turn 27 dresses in a sports movie into something, I will give you something.
Okay. Well, all that challenge accepted.
She's gonna take her dresses and turn them into uniforms.
Oh God, that'd be perfect for the That would be perfect for the Oregon Ducks because they have like 5 million combo combinations.
Yeah, they do.
So oh my gosh, I can see it now. 27 dresses instead it'd be 100 uniforms. Romantic comedy featuring the Oregon Duck mascot. All right. So, and then the last Dreamcast list, Hank, the mascot guy, is going to be played by Will Ferrell.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
He's very hit and miss for me.
I like him. Anyways. So there is your movie pitch for Sweet Home Major League. What do you think?
Well, like I said, it's like Hallmark meets something horrible, but it was better than last week's. Last week's gave me cringe.
Okay. All right, next segment, mascots.
Hey.
All right, our mascots takes us to Cobden, 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 Illinois.
Okay.
Okay, Cobden, Illinois is in the southern tip of Illinois. Like where if you know the shape of Illinois, it kind of comes to like a tip.
Yeah,
like it's
like a triangular base on it.
Yeah, on the bottom part. So very close to the the Mississippi River, close to the border of the Missouri. So it's right there where you have 3 states meet. Yeah, Missouri, Illinois, and Kentucky kind of meet.
We need to start planning road trips to hitting these little towns and buying their jerseys.
Oh, no kidding. I know.
I'm totally down.
I know that, like, was it Orofino?
Well, I know you can buy stuff online.
You can buy stuff online. It'd be cool to go to these places.
It'd be totally different to go.
Yeah.
Actually
go there. Okay, so Cobden, another small town. It is, let me give you some information about the size. It is about 1,000 people. Okay.
So small.
It grew 1%, had a 4% growth, so not 1%. It had, in a 1-year growth, it grew 4%. Poverty level is at 29%. A little high.
That's high.
But it did decrease by 1%. Your median household income is $42,000. Median property value is $106,000. So not a high-end area.
Right. Middle, lower working class.
Yeah.
Lower working class, probably.
Out of that 1,000 population, in 2023, about over 350 people were employed. A lot of them are social medical jobs.
Oh, okay.
Okay. What else we got? Comes to ethnic groups, white, 62, basically 63%. The next population is Hispanic, 28%.
So there's some diversity.
There's some diversity.
Nice.
It's a little bit of diversity. And then your African American Black population is like at 1%, and then there's not much else. Let's see, what else have I got here? 94% of the people who live there are citizens. I guess that's a big thing now.
I guess.
Yeah. So, like I said, the economy is largely social assistance, services, public administration, retail. Average travel time is like 27 minutes, I think, for most jobs. But obviously, they probably go to other towns.
Yeah, if you've only got 1,000 people in your town, there's not much jobs going on there.
Yeah.
Not many jobs going on.
Working population, most people in the town, high school equivalent. Some people have bachelor's degrees that work there, probably for the social
medical
jobs. Yeah. We already talked about housing. 73% of the people have home ownership in this town.
So there's not a lot of rental properties or anything. It's home owned.
Yeah, a good
That's
portion.
Okay.
All right, are we ready?
Yeah, get on to
24 minutes, like I said, for commute time. All right, so Cobden, Illinois. They call it a village, so small town, little village. Also, it's region informally known as Little Egypt.
That's weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
They got pyramids or something.
So this town's widely known for it has wineries and orchards.
So it's like an agricultural community. Nice.
And for what other reasons? Okay, so
one high school.
The high school. Where am I at? High school. Okay, pretty. Like I said, it'd be a smaller high school.
1,000 people, and your little bit of surrounding area.
It's a rural school.
Probably what we'd consider a small 2A.
Yeah, 2A, 1A. Let's see what else I got on the school.
About size I went to.
Yeah. All right.
We covered a big area though.
Yeah, we do. So the history of this came from a basketball game. Seems like where a lot of these come from. Okay. Because it has a large industry, 1960s area. It's peaches, apple orchards.
Pickers.
Close. Apple knockers. They're called apple knockers.
What's a knocker?
An apple knocker. Okay, so
What's the PG?
So I don't know. Hey, it's basically a man with freckles wearing a straw hat and chewing a piece of straw. That's the mascot.
That's awesome.
It was made to be a derogatory term to insult the new school because of that's what their industry was. The economy was. But the school said, you know what, we're going to own it. So they owned it, and
nothing like turning a joke into a legit thing.
It became its cultural identity from 1964.
Apple knockers.
Apple knockers, even though they did lose to they're in the game.
The corn jerkers.
The corn jerkers. That's a thing. That's a thing too.
Apple knockers.
Yeah. So the apple knockers.
I always kind of enjoy it when it has something to do with like their community or their environment or their culture. I mean, and however they got the name, whatever. But so many schools, and the school I grew up in is a classic example. We were the Panthers. There's no Panthers around that area. It has nothing to do with anything.
Where I went was the Tigers. It is nice when
it's cool, especially smaller communities. Take ownership like
where we're at here in Gooding, it's the Senators, which is after.
Well, it has to do with the founding of your town.
So there's one there.
Cultural.
Lynn's Ferry pilots because of the ferry crossing.
Right.
Yeah. So there's them. But some of these other places, we got what we got around here. We got Blue Devils. We got Red Devils. We got Cane Ridge is
the Red Hawks.
Canyon because of the Hawks on the cane. So
and I
it's related to them. Twin Falls is the Bruins, a bear. I guess there is bears in the area. But some of these places, like you said, there's nothing.
Tigers and Panthers and
Tigers and Panthers.
Pirates.
Pirates
are a big one.
Yeah, pirates are another one. But yeah, that are really not around. Some take indigenous names for their schools.
Yeah, we have a couple of mascots.
Buell and Shoshone, and we got some Indians. Take off
but there are indigenous
tribes from the area, so it kind of fits it. So so that's it. The apple knockers.
Nice. I like it.
So yeah, if you ever go through that southern part of Illinois, it does look like just. Here's another fact that this is my geek science side coming into this. The geography of the area. It's basically there's these hills called the Shawnee Hills, and it was basically during the Ice Age 100,000 years ago, the Illinoisan ice sheet. Basically, when it was pushing all this stuff, it basically built this Shawnee Mountains, which to me, mountains.
Didn't glaciers leave behind really good soil?
They did, yeah. So that would make sense for
your
agriculture and that in the Midwest is so good, but. It basically, the town is at the crest of these hills, of the Shawnee Hills.
Nice.
So yeah,
should go there sometime.
Yeah, it looks like a nice area. Not a lot of bigger towns. I mean, St. Louis looks like the closest big city. That's from there. So, anyways, I'd like to thank the coach's wife for showing up again, and Nick will be here sometime. We're working it out. He's been busy, so we'll get him in here and bring his wife on too as well. So yeah, we got a lot of big plans coming up. So once again, thank you, and everybody take care. Here, you want to see what Nat's Alex say?